Ohio Republican Governor John Kasich is joining the fight against gerrymandering and is voicing support for Dreamers. Election 2018 isn't only about the Ohio governor's race. Let us introduce you to the down-ticket slate of candidates. Read more in today's Ohio Politics Roundup. Supreme Court fight. Ohio Republican Governor John Kasich has joined the legal fight against gerrymandering, the political map-drawing process geared toward creating congressional and state house districts that sharply favor one party over the other, Cleveland.com's Rich Exner writes. In signing an amicus brief in a Wisconsin gerrymandering case before the Supreme Court, Kasich joined former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, former U.S. Senator Bob Dole of Kansas and U.S. Senator John McCain of Arizona, all Republicans. As I've continued to serve in public office and watched our political divide deepen, I've grown increasingly concerned with how primaries are pushing candidates to the extreme right and extreme left, which is creating more polarization and division, Kasich said in a statement released by the governor's office. Ohio Dreamers. Kasich on Wednesday voiced support for people affected by President Donald Trump's decision to end deferred action for childhood arrivals, Columbus Dispatch reporter Randy Ludlow reports. The Obama-era program let thousands of undocumented immigrants who arrived in the country as children remain in the United States. These immigrants are often called Dreamers after legislation called the Dream, Development, Relief and Education for Alien Minors Act that would have given them a path to citizenship. When Congress failed to pass the measure, Obama created the DACA program. If the Dreamers want to go somewhere and live, come to Ohio, Kasich said on CBS This Morning. This is the United States of America and we're putting kids, young people who are contributors, in jeopardy, Kasich said. This is not the America we all love. Meet the candidates. You've probably heard about next year's race for Ohio governor, with a slew of both Democrats and Republicans already making waves in the race, I write in my latest report. But that's not the only statewide election slated for 2018. Other offices up for grabs in Ohio next year include Attorney General, Secretary of State, Treasurer and Auditor. These titles may sound unfamiliar, but these public offices have important roles shaping policy in Ohio. Allow us to introduce you to Ohio's down-ticket candidates. Deal back on. The Cleveland Cavaliers announced Wednesday that the $140 million transformation of Quicken Loans Arena is a go. The announcement comes a little more than a week after Cavs CEO Len Komoroski said the organization was withdrawing from the project, Cleveland.com's Karen Farkas writes. The project was revived last Thursday after critics withdrew petitions that would have required a referendum on Cleveland's contribution to the transformation. The Cavs said then they would reconsider the decision to pull out of the deal to renovate Quicken Loans Arena since construction delays that would have occurred due to a required vote on the referendum were no longer an issue, Farkas writes. We are excited to confirm our renewed capital commitment of over $70 million to help renovate and transform Quicken Loans Arena, a tremendous publicly owned asset for our community, Komoroski said in a statement Wednesday. Andrew Tobias explores why critics said they withdrew their opposition of the project. Tickets. Ohio Democrats officially running for governor will debate next week in Martins Ferry. State Senator Joe Schiavone of Boardman, Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley, former U.S. Representative Betty Sutton of Copley and former State Representative Connie Pillich will square off at 7 p.m. Tuesday. The debate is open to the public, but you do need a ticket, Columbus Dispatch reporter Marty Schladen writes. Tickets cost $15 for general admission or $75 for reserved seating. You can order them here. Investigation. State Representative Bill Patman has asked Ohio Secretary of State John Husted to investigate how a door to the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections was left unlocked Saturday though the office was closed, Cleveland.com's Bob Higgs reports. Patman, who is a candidate for mayor of Cleveland, said in a letter sent Tuesday to Husted that the unlocked building raises a concern about the integrity of the elections. The primary election for Cleveland mayor and city council, as well offices in 5 other communities, is September 12 and the Elections Board has been collecting early voting ballots since August 15. Husted, through a spokesman, said only his office is looking into the situation. Cuyahoga County elections officials stated again Wednesday that voting materials had been safely locked up and were undisturbed Saturday. Higgs writes. Expanding Internet access. A proposed bill in the Ohio Senate would give $100 million to install broadband in communities without high-speed